Hey guys, it's TF Not. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another action figure review. This is going to be of the brand new G.I. Joe Classified Series Amazon exclusive Kamakura figure. So I picked this up recently from the Black Friday Cyber Monday sales that were happening. And it's actually been almost a month ago since then. But I got this for like 22 bucks, I think, which is a pretty good deal. I may not be a big fan of G.I. Joe ever since, I was a kid. And, I've had my problems with this particular toy line. However, as of late, I think that the G.I. Joe team have proven that they're listening and actually care about the line to where, they've improved in some ways on some of the problems that I've had with it, mostly with distribution and all that. And Kamakura here also looked like a pretty cool ninja character for my collection. So I wanted to go ahead and pick it up and see if it was worth having in my collection. With all of that dribble out of the way, we have the new style of packaging where it's, windowless, but I do like the illustrations on the front. Kamakura kicking Cobra butt, all that looking really great. Look a little bit closer here, and if I can focus, you do get an image of the figure right there. G.I. Joe Classified Series, Kamakura, as per logo. Close-up image of what we got there. The star logo, and then we have the 61 right there. And you do see where it says warning choking hazard ages 4 and up. All these different symbols. I believe there was an app that told you about some of these symbols. I don't exactly remember. 61 again, G.I. Joe side profile image of the character right there. On the back, it does give the measurement 6.18 inches, which is 157 millimeters, so I don't have to measure that anymore. Figure on the box right there. All the stuff that this figure comes with. This was originally like a $33 figure, which seems like a lot, but it does come with a pretty good amount of stuff, I will admit. Another image of the character right there. It does say Kamakura. This is only going to be on Amazon, but if you do need it, I do have the barcode in case you need it. So let's go ahead and get this figure out of the packaging. Here's the figure out of the packaging, doing a quick 360 for you guys. This figure is really nice, actually. It comes with a lot of stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look at all those accessories and try to get through that really quick. Then we'll take a closer look at the figure. So if seeing this image here is good enough in terms of what kind of accessories this figure comes with, I do have the chapter function enabled on here so you can skip right to the figure's detail portion. With that, though, we have this, first thing I want to talk about, this basically two-section like spear, staff, whatever exactly type of weapon is supposed to be called. It's very nice and long, and we also have, if I can zoom out a little bit, really nice paint on the silver parts here. A little bit of etchings in the blade there. Pretty decent types of lines and details going on in the actual staff. This is molded in a black plastic, and then the other side also has, a metallic silver paint to it. I say it's a two-section staff because, and they gave us the separate pieces here instead of. They probably were having trouble doing it like a 2-in-1 system, like it all plugs in. And I'm fine with them doing it like this though. So you can see right there, that one section there. Each of these ends, they have silver on there. And I believe these are the exact same mold as well. I don't see why not. But they also have very similar paint and the actual sculpting details, some etchings in here as well. So that's sick. We do also have this holster system here, or a seat system, I guess. So that way you can pop these in there. I believe these also work for the katanas that this comes with. This actually might be a little different. There we go. So that does actually fit in there. And then we do have the the hole on the back of the figure. You plug that in. So that doesn't look amazing right now. Again, these are probably actually more for the katana. But this is, a very basic gray plastic, but the actual sculpting and all that actually looks really nice. And you can switch that around if you want to as well. You can do it like this. All like that. That's pretty sick. We also have this waistband piece here. This piece sticking out. It's mostly in like this lime green paint, as you see here. If you look on the side, we do have this ball joint right there. This might be, actually, it was pretty easy to pop in. And you can see it does swivel a little bit, can kind of pivot, and then, all the way around. So it's cool that we have that there. We have this, this hoodie that's down. If you have this on here, the idea, I guess, is to pop the head off, which I'll have to do it off camera really quick. Just pop this on here, and then I'm not going to show off every single little thing. I'm going to have images towards the end of the review showing off all the different ways you can, use all the stuff here. But I did want to at least show off how this, down hood piece looks like with this on here. And then of course you pop the head off, put the head in here, and it fits in there. Pretty nice wrinkles on the hood there. The up hood does have some really nice like tears towards this part here. Really nice texturing. There's not much paint, but the texturing is really good all the way around here. That is really sick. We do have this head sculpt here, and then we'll get to the rest of the weapons. This head sculpt is really nice, if I can even focus on it. Really nicely done. I really like how the red hair is painted on there. No, it looks like a little bit of they missed a little bit of red. If you look ever so closely, like around here, you can see a little bit of skin tone in that sculpted the hair, but it's really not that noticeable. You have to look really hard. I think that they have the printing on these figures, and it looks really nice. Almost like the digital printing, what they've been doing with. I think they've been doing that for a while with this line. I really like how the hair is done. Maybe a little bit of shading could be better, but the actual color is done really well. Lip color's nice. I think there might be some specks on here that I can get off later. Yeah, all that looks really great. I'm really digging that. We also have this Uzi. It's no, it's not. I was about to say like a Mac 11, but it's definitely an Uzi. I don't think this is the same one we've gotten with Snake Eyes in the past, but this is still a really nice looking one. If it is, I don't really mind that much. This is pretty sick. It's just a basic black sculpt here. It's molded in this plastic, but the overall look of it is very realistic. With the magazine, the trigger could be, it could be a little more prominent, but sometimes those triggers stick out and then they'll break if the figure moves it around too much. The barrel, the attachments, or where would be the attachments, I guess. All that is fantastic. I dig that a lot. We also have this pistol here. I think another character in the line might have come with this. I don't exactly remember. Maybe Snake Eyes as well. That came with Timber. I don't exactly remember right now. This is a really nice looking piece. This almost looks like a Beretta. Almost. The extended mag looks really good. A little bit of the where the attachment would be underneath the barrel there. It's just really nice looking. Again, it's molded in this black plastic, but it still looks really good. I don't think there's unfortunately only really a weapon storage for the katana, and I don't think the knife has a boot sheath or anything, unfortunately. But we have this knife. I think we got this also with Snake Eyes in the past. The serrated edge on the side here. It's just molded in this black plastic. I think some silver would have been nice here. But the actual handle, that is sculpted really well too. Last but not least, we have both katanas here. So we have this more standard black and silver katana with a little bit of silver bleeding to where the black is a little bit too prominent there. But it's not too bad looking. We focus up a little bit. The like etchings and all that going on here in the katana, and that blade is really sick, and that silver paint is really good. Detailing on the handle could be a little bit better, but it's not god awful. And then we have this one here that is a different sculpt of the handle, I believe. Yeah, it's a different sculpt, and there's a green band painted on there, and then the silver is also really nice on here. Last but not least, I did want to show off what these would look like on here. Yeah, and these are definitely supposed to fit the katanas a lot better. So yeah, all that looks really good. This thing comes with a lot of stuff. So we'll be taking a look at Kamakura in the most basic, way possible. Took off all the attachments, as you see there. Just looking at what we have, without all the stuff on here. And this head sculpt is really great. It's very basic because it's just a whole, smooth head sculpt covering the whole face. But the little window that we get with the eyes, I think that these eyes look fantastic. I can even zoom in on there. There we go. It looks like they do have digital printing even for this small window here. It looks like because of that, we have a little bit of shading almost going on around here. And I think that all of this looks really great. The eyes are really nicely centered. I think the right eye just might be ever so slightly cockeyed. But it's like in some angles you just can't tell. So I don't think that is all that bad of a trade-off there. And I think the overall sculpting here, again, it's a very basic sculpt because, it's smooth the way it's supposed to look. But, the ears can protrude a little bit. We do have a little bit of wrinkles towards the back of the neck. And you have these lines on the back of the neck here, this part of the head. And then like this line going all the way down the mask. So that looks great too. One thing I do want to mention, I don't know what it is. I think that the way that they've done the legs here, because this is all just one color, it's molded like this dark green. I think it looks fine actually, and the texturing's really good. I just think it's a little too glossy in the upper torso. I don't think it looks as good. I know that they're probably using different types of plastic. These are definitely different types of plastic that I'm feeling here. But I don't know what they could have done a little bit differently. I think the texturing in here is still nice. You have some wrinkles around the stomach and the chest and all that. And it doesn't look as bad when you get to these areas like the butterfly joint in the arms. And a little bit, you kind of get back to it when we get to the upper arms. But the light green around here, all that's painted on there pretty nice. And you have this little bit of dark blue paint on there too. I don't exactly remember when they've implemented the pinless tech, but they've done it for a little bit now, and it's a pretty good addition to the line here. We also have the Arashikage symbol, I really hope I said that right, tatted right here on the forearm in very nice red paint. Doesn't look bad at all. It might look a little off-centered with some of the line placement, but I think it's mostly because of how the the muscles in the arms are sculpted like that. I don't know what I was trying to say, but I can't really blame it too much. Pretty decent paint in the the little bracer, I guess, or whatever this would be around the wrists. And then we have actually some really good silver paint on the back of the hand with this darker blue glove and a little bit of a dark blue mark on the finger, unfortunately. And the trade-off, look, it's a skin mark on the dark blue, unfortunately. It's not that bad on this hand, though. So a few imperfect paint splotches, unfortunately. Nothing I hate on right now. It's nothing too bad. Like if that eye was way more cockeyed, I'd be pretty pissed. We do have some pretty good silver on, I guess, what would be this bracer. Not exactly sure what the exact terms of some of this should be. But you have some pretty good, pretty clean brown paint with those straps there. And the back of the hand also has some nice silver paint. All that texturing on here, like the detailing, very good again. Pretty good belt system. I don't know if this is used from a previous character, but you have that ball joint again with a little bit of like black and lime green going on there. It's mostly molded in this darker green. The pouches are pretty decently painted, and then I guess this can move around a little bit unnaturally, but there's the buckle. But then you have the pants sculpted like this, which can look a little weird compared to how this strap is done like that, and then you see another buckle there. It's a little weird, but it's not god awful, I don't think. But it's not painted here. You do have a sculpted buckle there, and then some straps. Not really straps, but I guess, but parts of the belt right there. The rest of the texturing, I kind of went over already. Am I really going to spend more time on the accessories than I am the detail of the figure? I guess so. The back of the pockets, actually, I forgot to mention, there's that. Wrinkles around there too. Wrinkles towards the outer thighs. And then that texturing, again, is really good. They did a really great job making consistent texturing. And, in some ways, it could be a little bit more protruding, but you don't have to look too hard to see it. It looks pretty good. And we have pinless knees too. Really great detailing and sculpting and paint, of course, on the knees. Looking good. I do think we have a little bit of a lighter green plastic here compared to the rest of what would be a little bit darker because of the pinless tech. Unfortunately, it looks like they are, for now, for some of these figures at least, adopting that habit from Marvel Legends. I haven't picked up that many G.I. Joes this year, so I can't exactly say how bad this is for the rest of the figures. We do have actually some sculpting on the actual joints at the back of the knees here, so that's good. And then these separate boots with the shin plates looking great. Very similar to how they did the back of the hand and the knees. You see all those armor pieces sticking out, and you have the silver paint there too. Back of the legs looking really sick with some nice brown. Looks like the blue is bleeding into the brown a little bit, but they did do as best they could, I guess, with the straps there. Bottom of the feet, you see the separation of the toes and the rest of the feet there. These protruding pieces on top of the foot there, looking nice. Some wrinkles around the ankles too. The way that they sculpted these boots, around the feet and the soles, that looks really great. And then the bottom of the feet, they actually have a little bit of toe pieces sculpted. I don't really know exactly what these you call the retraction, I guess, but that's sculpted on there. This thing has really decent sculpting. My biggest problem with it besides just minor paint imperfections, is mostly how all this looks. I'm not a big fan of how the dark, green is a little bit too glossy in the upper torso, but everything else looks great, and I can kind of forgive this. Articulation is pretty common with these figures, and there's a lot. Now, they used to have the hinge going up in here, and then this was the ball joint. This just is ball joint in here now, unfortunately, but it's still not bad. It does allow still for a lot of really good down motion. I think it's mostly going from the neck to the torso. Pushing that up, the up could be a tiny bit better, but it's still pretty good. It does look up, so there's that. Side to side and pivoting, there's no problems there. And then rotation at the neck too, if you grab it a little bit. It might be a little bit tight at the neck. We do have the butterfly joints forward and back like that. Arms do go all the way around. They can actually go down like all the way. Really nice. Sometimes figures they stick out like that, but down really nice. That's as far out as it goes, at least on the right arm. That's really good. We have an upper arm swivel here. We do have double jointed elbows. A little bit tight on my figure, and then be careful not to mark the light green here with the skin tone. Swivel and then up and down hinge. This is for both sets of hands, but it's a little bit tight on both my hands. The forward motion, that's far forward it wants to go, and far back is actually really good. It can swivel, and then the ball joint, can allow for side to side and maybe a little bit of forward back motion. It's a little bit tight, so just be careful with that too. Sometimes these legs, the T joints, they're a little bit too tight here, but it looks like they've sculpted some space in there maybe to help with that, I guess. I'm not entirely sure, but it's not too tight on mine. We do actually have a drop down system here a little bit too, so it can kick out all the way because of that. And back, actually kind of decent. It looks a little bit weird, but still really nice. And then you get the perfect splits. Great articulation so far. Upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, really tight on mine too. We do have swiveling here at the boot. The up is actually really good. Down is really great. Ankle rocker. So fantastic articulation on this thing. So with size comparisons, it looks like Kamakura as well as the Special Ops Snake Eyes might be a little bit taller than Storm Shadow, actually. I don't remember how accurate that's supposed to be, but they're all still pretty close in scale with each other. Kamakura is about the same height, maybe a tiny bit taller than a Black Suit Spider-Man Marvel Legends figure, and a little bit taller than a Stars of Black series first ever version of Mando. So yeah, overall great figure. I don't know if it's enough to make me get back into the G.I. Joe line. I think I'll get some army builders here and there, but this is still a really solid figure. Even for, $30, I do think that this would be worth it. It does come with a lot of accessories, lots of different optional parts that this figure comes with. They all look great. The sculpting is pretty great on most of the accessories. Paintwork is lacking on some of them, but the sculpt does make up for that a little bit. The actual figure itself does have a great range of motion and articulation, even though some joints are a little bit tight. I think it's a little bit better if it is tight than too loose. The overall detailing on here is pretty great, except for just mostly the upper torso to me. Could be a little bit better, but detailing where even there's not that much paint is still really good. And parts with the silver on here and other painted parts are done even better. It's a fantastic figure. It is a little bit over $30, I think, right now. It could be on sale for the holidays, but I have the link down in the description below. It is an Amazon exclusive. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.